Hello and welcome back to GTH Boxing. I'm Joshua, and today I'm going to be going over and discussing and giving my prediction on the big fight this weekend between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. Obviously, this is a massive fight. Like it or not, this is going to be one of the biggest shows of the year, and I'm going to sit down today and talk to you about how I think it's going to go and discussing both fighters and I think the way they need to approach the fight. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Before we get into this video, I would just like to put it out there. This is on BT Sport Box Office on Sunday, the 26th of February. On the right hand side of your screen, it says the ways to watch. So obviously, I'll let you pause it, look over it as long as you need to figure out how to watch this fight. Action starts around 6:30 Sunday evening, with the main event ring walks being around 9:30. And anyway, back to the video. Before we get into this as well, in the comments below, drop your predictions and tell me how you think the fight's going to go. I'm going to give my prediction at the end of the video after talking about both fighters and about how they should approach the fight. But I want to hear what you lot have to say, so let me know in the comments below. And now we're actually going to get into the video. So to start off, we're going to be discussing, I'm going to be talking about the problem child, the man himself, the man of the hour, Jake Paul. So obviously Jake Paul gets a lot of stick. Let's not fucking beat around the bush. He gets a lot of stick. However, he is very dedicated to the sport. Since he's got into it back in 2018 when he fought Deji, he's been very committed since then, and in a way has brought a lot of new eyes to the sport. Obviously, there's a few dodgy things about him. I don't see him winning this fight, to be honest. I think his technique's poor. I think there's just a lot of things that he lacks. I just think strategically he's not going to have it all to beat Tommy Fury. A lot of people are forgetting that Tommy Fury has been fighting for about 10, 12, somewhat around that many years. And I just don't think Jake Paul has the ability. Obviously, he looks like he's got the focus and he's got the confidence, but I just don't see a way for him to beat Tommy Fury. I think Tommy Fury's better in every single aspect, and I just don't see a single way around it. Obviously, I'm not going to be upset with a Jake Paul win, to be honest. I would like to see him win. But either way, I think Tommy Fury's got a lot more to lose as well. I think if Jake Paul loses, he's still got that KSI fight to fall back on. Obviously, that KSI fight will always kind of just be there because it's one of those things that's just always going to be unanswered. And obviously, he was always going to be a YouTube boxer in my eyes, especially with this technique. I'm sorry, throwing a jab. Why does he look like he's about to take off? He looks like an airplane. Why is he about to fly? Why is his fucking other hand back there? He's throwing a jab. It doesn't make sense to me. What's he doing back there? And that's the thing. I just think he's not got all the fundamentals. He's got a very lazy technique. The way he throws his jab and the way he always drops his hands. This is like, obviously I've got this one picture, but there's so many examples of him dropping his hands when he throws combos. And I just don't think I don't think he's got it. I don't think he's got it in him to beat him, especially if Tommy approaches the fight correctly, which obviously I'll discuss in a couple moments. I think the way Jake Paul needs to approach this really is to take a fight to him. If Jake Paul tries to actually box him, he'll get his arse handed to him on a plate. He needs to take a fight to him and go in there with the intentions of hurting him, but he also needs to be aware that he's going to have to get hurt to hurt him. It's not going to be a walk in the park for either man, really, because it's just not. It's that type of fight. Because obviously Jake's been in this position before. He's headlined big fights like this before. Tommy hasn't. So Jake's got all the eyes on him, but he's used to having the eyes on him. Tommy's not. So I think if he takes a war to him and goes with a war mindset, I do think Jake Paul stands a bit of a chance. I'm not going to say a lot of a chance, because I really just think he does not stand a lot of a chance. However, I would like to see a Jake Paul win. I think it would really, I think the world would fucking go on its head if Jake Paul wins, because no one's really actually giving him a chance. People are giving him a chance, and that's what baffles me, because I don't see how he stands a chance. The bookies have him as the favourite, which baffles me. It baffles me. Like, Jake Paul has struggled in fights, Tommy Fury hasn't, and especially against MMA fighters, and that's what I just don't get. Moving into the other man though, Tommy Fury, I think for him, he needs to put his foot on the gas, and I think if he takes it to Jake Paul, I think it'll be a walk in the park for him. I think he could stop him inside 2 rounds, Eddie Hearn said it as well on an interview on Boxing Social with Charlie Parsons. If Tommy puts his foot on the gas and goes in there, he can take him out in 2 rounds. And I agree with that. I do agree with that. Obviously, Tommy's never been in a fight of this magnitude. He's always been an undercard fighter, and he's gone from being an undercard fighter to a headline fighter. Not just a headline fighter, but a headline fighter on a massive, massive show. While the undercard doesn't provide a lot, you don't need a big undercard on a show like this. Jake Paul, like it or not, he's one of the biggest names in the sport. He is, and it's facts. Tommy Fury is going in there, and he's going to have to take it to him. I think he could get away with boxing him, but I just feel like if you don't put your foot on the gas, you're giving Jake Paul more of the opportunity. He really does need to look at going in there, getting the right hand going early, and putting them through him and putting them onto him. And obviously, probably connect one on his jaw. Yeah, I think Tommy's got it all. Just a lot more about him. I think Eddie Hearn, again, this is going back to the Eddie Hearn thing, he said Jake Paul's got a better resume, and I slightly disagree. I think Jake Paul's fought good people, yes, but he's fought MMA people, and more importantly, he's fought old people. Tommy Fury's fought seasoned journeymen who, aren't no fucking jokes. They go round fighting for a living. And I think especially in his last fight, he fought a guy who looked good on paper but wasn't great in the ring. I'm talking about obviously the fight on the screen now, the one at Wembley Stadium, not the one that he had on the Mayweather Deji undercard. He looked a bit poor that night, really. It was a bit of a lackluster fight. But yeah, I don't see a way for Jake Paul to get through Tommy Fury. I think, like I said, Jake Paul is worse in every single aspect. So I just think it's going to be a bit of a long night for him if Tommy has the right game plan. So for my final prediction for the fight, I'm going to keep it short and simple, and I'm going to say a Tommy Fury round 2 TKO victory. Like I said, I just don't think Jake Paul's going to have it in him, especially if Tommy comes out with his foot on the gas, especially with all that anger and supposed hatred. Do they really hate each other? Probably. They probably do. And I think if Tommy Fury can really go in there and take it to him, I don't think Jake Paul will stand a chance. Obviously, that being said, I wouldn't complain if Jake Paul does pull off the upset. I really would not complain. However, there's one thing that I do have to complain about, and that is the fact that the winner is getting a top 15. Is it the winner? I can't remember if it's the winner or Jake Paul. But if Jake Paul wins, the WBC top 15 ranking in the cruiserweight ranks baffles me. It baffles me, to be honest. I don't see how. Whoever wins this fight is going to be the best win on their record. For Jake Paul, Tommy Fury will be his best win, and for Tommy Fury, Jake Paul will be his best win, and it will stay like that for a while. So I don't think Jake Paul looks like he wants to push himself. Every single fight, he's stepping it up a bit. Tommy Fury just doesn't look like he really wants to step it up. 8-0, and he's fought 8 fucking journeymen. Okay, he had that one good guy last time at Wembley. Good guy on paper, but not very good when he got in the ring. I don't know. I think there's just something a bit dodgy about it to me. The only other thing that I'm going to quickly throw out there is that from what has been said on Twitter earlier today, is that there'll be anywhere between 5,000 and 8,000 people in the arena on Sunday night, which I think will work in favour of Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury's fought in front of bigger crowds. Jake Paul's obviously fought in front of bigger crowds, but Jake Paul can do it in front of a big crowd. In his first fight, his first boxing match, he did it in front of 20,000 people at the fucking AO Arena in Manchester. Tommy Fury hasn't headlined ever. He's never been a co-main event ever. A lot of his fights did come behind closed doors in lockdown. He's really not got that main event experience that Jake Paul has. However, I don't think, because it's in Saudi, the crowd ain't going to be fired up. The crowds are never great over in Saudi, unfortunately, which I think is quite sad, because this is a really good fight as well. But that's all from me. I'll catch you on Monday after the fight. Goodbye for now.